Hello, my name is Drew, and welcome to Reminiscent Streaming. I have a very special broadcast planned for you today. So, I'd like to talk about the National Defense Authorization Act for the fiscal year of 2012. I feel like this is something that has been kind of being talked about in me a little bit, but not really fully expressed into detail of what's really going on right now. So, I'd like to kind of just talk about, a few things that have, kind of struck me as a little bit odd. So, statistics for roll call number 932 in the House, 65% of the, between the Democrats and Republicans, Independents, everyone voted aye for the bill, which effectively passed it. So, one aye is basically voting yes, and 50% was needed to pass the bill. So, 65, 50 pretty much went straight through the Congress. Votes for the bill were 283 voted aye for the Republicans, 43 nay votes for the Republicans, and 8 abstentions for the Republicans. 93 aye votes for the Democrats, 93 nay votes for the Democrats, and 6 abstentions. So abstentions are just people who are just totally dismissed from voting from the bill. So it's basically not really a nay. It just kind of turns it into, if you have so many abstentions, then it kind of turns the bill so that you have less people to kind of put the bill forward. So it was effectively passed. Organizations that support the bill are go as far as Honeywell, which is a security or a thermostat company, whichever you know it for. And it was early this year fined for $11.8 million for improperly disposing hazardous waste. So they have their fingers dipped in a lot other things in security and thermostats. And then DuPont, which is a chemical company that makes anything from pharmaceuticals to rocket fuel. Polartec, Winter Fabric Company that is, conveniently making Army and Marine fatigues right now. So, they're going to get, bankroll from this particular bill that we're talking about here. Green Technology Solutions, which is kind of like a greenhouse gas slash hybrid system company, is basically for the green movement. So, and then one that's kind of suspicious to me is the Warrior Protection and Readiness Coalition. So obviously, it's suspicious, just establishment that kind of reminds me of, the AKA Army Home Depot. So you can, kind of get the picture from there. The bill is 1,146 pages long, and the summary exceeding even 6 pages. So, somebody who goes into it and reads it, it could be, somebody that's pretty skilled with just kind of working with legal documents and things like that. So they summarize into 6 pages. So, which is a lot for a bill. Most bills range from 400 to 600 pages of just straight legal documents and sections, subsections, and things like that. So I read the bill briefly, and just glancing at the bill was quite terrifying to me. A lot of the language that indicates that the military and federal government will be given the power to invoke deadly rights on anyone who remotely seems to indicate a terrorist threat. So, anybody who, you could be talking about bombs on a plane or something. This happens. It's just America, and you could someone could turn you in, and you could be under suspicion for a terrorist threat, and then they can come detain you in your house, take you without an appearance to court or anything, and torture you, anything from waterboard to whatever they're doing nowadays, and effectively kill you if they have to get information out of you, extract information out of you per se. The bill is obviously in the wake of the Occupy movement that emerged during the fall, when they basically took a shot at the Federal Reserve, blaming them for everything that's going on right now. And so it's kind of like, the 99% versus the richest 1% right now who, a lot of people are taking the streets, and we're, countries all over the world, countries, as small as Serbia, or, big as Russia. So it's, it's a pretty big movement. Let's see here. So, some questions that, might arise from, this bill is, who's really responsible for it? Is it FEMA? Is it the president? Is it Congress? Is it the Federal Reserve? Though you can't really point any fingers at anybody to who's really responsible for this bill and who's, getting pretty much the big picture out of the whole thing. And another question you might ask is the Constitution being compromised with this particular bill? Well, if you even taking a glance at it, it's most indefinitely taking a shot at the Constitution, and pretty much any amendment in there is being kind of compromised right now. Freedom of speech, per se, there will be no freedom of speech under the National Defense Authorization Act. Or right to press. There will be no right to press under the National Defense of Authorization, whatever. So, they're compromising everything within the Constitution, everything that makes our country what it is today. So this is why I'm advocating against it right now. See if you have any questions. You should, comment on the page here, and check out my website and everything. So I'm going to move on to another bill I'd like to talk about that's striking me as very, very negative towards the United States, and that is the Stop Online Piracy Act that introduced this yesterday, 12/14/2011. So I'm just going to read to you a summary that I found online that kind of sums up the bill. So this bill would establish a system for taking down websites that the Justice Department determines to be dedicated to copyright infringement. The DOJ, or the copyright owner, would be able to commence legal action against any site they deem to have only limited purpose or use other than infringement, and the DOJ would be allowed to demand that the search engine, social networking sites, and domain name services block access to the targeted site. It would also make unauthorized web streaming of copyrighted content a felony, which is possibly a penalty of up to 5 years in prison. The bill combines two separate Senate bills, the S-968 and the S-978, into one big House bill. So the S-968, I believe it came up in last June of 2011, and it's basically kind of a smaller version, still as generalized as this bill is, about stopping online piracy. Big business is really losing millions of dollars right now to the freedoms that we have with internet streaming and social media videos and things like that, and they're trying to collect money for that. This is pretty much their time to come and collect money out of citizens, U.S. citizens, matter of fact, for the whatever they want to get out of us, whatever they can, pretty much. And I feel like, to me, that once they get whatever revenues that going to rise from this particular bill, because we won't be able to legally get the videos online. We won't be able to watch, videos online that we like new movies that just came out, a particular website that you might use. I'm not going to say any names, or anything else really. You could be even, playing Call of Duty one day, and we just want to put a little highlight tape on YouTube, just showing like you in action and whatnot, and they could come after you for that. What Call of Duty has, what their company has the rights to their content, so they could say, well, hey, this is against our copyright, and we're going to come after you, and take legal action against you. So, no, this is pretty big. This could affect a lot of people and a lot of people that you know. And so there are some companies that are good out there and who will, stand by us and try to help us through this terrible time. And that's Yahoo, eBay, Google, and Netscape. And they claim the bill will undermine the framework of free expression. So these are companies that feel like this is totally outrageous. They like their establishments the way they are now, and why should we have to become a neo-China? So, and giants like Viacom, Disney, Time Warner have all pledged support for the Stop Online Piracy Act. So they're pretty much evil forces against us right now, trying to vindicate us for taking money from them, which technically we're not. They're getting just as much money as they would if we were to have this particular legislature in place. So I'm particularly heavily against this because the part of my life is watching videos online and catching up on things, all my favorite TV shows. I feel like I shouldn't have to pay to watch that. This is freedom of expression. This is America. This is what we're here for. Why should we have to be like a communist oligarchy type nation that kind of just takes our freedoms away from us like that? This is something I've grown accustomed to growing up in the United States of America. I feel like this is something that should be around for a while. I would like my kids to have those type of freedoms in their lives, be able to watch cartoons online and stream it from their cell phones, and it's a part of life right now. Social media and everything. So, well, that's all we have time for today. I'm not going to preach about these particular things, but I think that they're very worth looking into. And I also like to bring up that you should stay tuned for Southside Radio, which is another side project I will be doing, which hip hop, R&B, featuring, and I'm trying to bring those particular elements to Duluth because I've been flipping through the Duluth channels. They don't have a rap station in Duluth, and that's outlandish to me. I'm coming from urban Ohio and Jacksonville, Florida, so I feel like gotta get something going on up here. So stay tuned for that in the next episode of Reminiscent Streaming. And have a great day. Good luck with all your endeavors.